Hey, everyone. Happy Monday morning. Today is July 8th, and I am back with another member of the LEAP community. Ashley K. Butler's with us today, and she's with Alpha Omega Wealth. I'm so happy to have you here today after this long holiday weekend, it felt like, right?
Yes, yes, it was forever.
It felt really long. So I worked on Friday for a really long time, was busting out a whole bunch of emails and doing a bunch of things because I kind of get bored. I know that sounds weird, but it felt like all my grandkids were traveling. They were all out of town. In the beginning of the week and the end of the week, they took that time to like go away. So I saw the ones I could see, but then other than that, it felt like Robert and I were like, well, hey, let's just bust out some work. What did you do over the holiday weekend? How was your 4th of July?
I took some well-needed R&R. I did do a little bit of work too. So I met with my sales director, did a whole bunch of other things too, but I just took the time to just,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of,
Yeah.
that's what I did.
So you and I really wanted to talk about this subject today about women's misconception in money. And I love to talk about money. I keep money on my desk. Like I always have money right here. My grandkids come in and they're like, Grandma, can I have some of your money? I said, it's not real, honey, but it feels real to me. Right.
Right.
And I use it as a reminder. I don't chase money, but I think it's important to understand our worth of our resources, our transformations that people have, the products that we offer individuals. And are you finding there's a big gap between the difference of how men view wealth and money and women? Is that like where you're seeing a gap?
You know, it's so hard to say. I want to say yes in terms of like how men look at how they earn money and how much they earn versus how women think about that. But I do also want to say no because I have come across men who they may be great at the earning side of it, but when it comes to the managing, keeping it, being able to sustain it to make it last for generation to generation to generation, no, there's not much difference there.
So women
There's a
are pulling in harder. Okay. Well, let's talk about the misconceptions of money when it specifically comes to women. And what have you found in the clients you've worked with, and what do you do to help them? In that area. Explain a little bit more about what you do, Ashley.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, this topic actually came from another person, another woman actually, who she also belongs to another group that I'm also part of too, called Community of Women, with Lena Marissi. And she actually brought up this topic because she found out what it is that I do. I'm in financial services. Yes, I do. With my firm, Alpha Omega Wealth, is a full service financial planning firm. So anything and everything financial planning related, investments, insurance, Alpha Omega Wealth does. But when it comes to the topic of women and money, especially for those who are either they're entrepreneurs or they're ready to get into business or start their own business or do their own thing, they do get a little, I don't want to say the word intimidated, but that's really the best word that's coming to mind. It's just like, I don't know if I should charge for that. I mean, it's a valuable service. The community, they do need this, but I don't feel comfortable, charging what, not necessarily what I'm worth, but pretty much what my service is worth. Whereas men, they have no problem doing that. And even if you're like a W-2 person, men will always negotiate for higher salaries. Women, on the other hand, they don't. So yeah, most don't anyway.
Yeah, I find that a lot too, and so I'm glad that you said that because one of the biggest reasons why so many women that I work with individually in coaching them, they hire me because they're not earning enough money in their businesses, and they're like, I don't know what to do differently. Well, yeah, there is a mindset component to that, but a
Right.
lot of it really has to do with gaining clarity and looking at everything that you
Right.
offer. Are you charging enough money? Are there gaps? Are you leaving money on the table? Are there opportunities for you to generate more income in other areas that you're not tapping into
Bingo.
yet? And I think that's really what it comes down to. And that's a way that we could do that, whether you're a W-2 or I say, a W-9, no matter which one you are. I feel that there are areas that we can tap into to be able to earn more money, whether it's showing your worth in a different way at your company and really doing something that you love that could get you promoted, or leaving that company and going to a different company that might value you better. But when it really comes down to it, what is the biggest issue that you think is surrounding money? And I say this all the time because we wake up and we work because we have to earn a living, because we have to pay bills.
Yep.
And if we didn't have to put a roof over our head or pay for our clothes on our back or the food that we eat, and I'm in a water fast right now, so my budget's pretty light because I'm not eating any food. Mine's just all water for the last couple of days so far. But saying that, have you found that people are mismanaging money because they're trying to keep up with their neighbors or the people in their neighborhood or people on social media? They're using it as a coping mechanism to spend money. What are all of the reasons around that you find? Because these are real problems for everybody.
Exactly. So the easy answer to the question is D, all of the above. So not A, not B, not C, but all of the above. No, but seriously though, it's really a mix of all of those different types of things. And I really would say social media is a huge culprit, which is why I'm not on it as much. I know my business coach Katrina probably gets a little upset about that, but I'm sorry. But social media is a huge component of, oh, look at all this, look at what I have, look at, and really a lot of that is not realistic, so I mean, some of it is, but some of it, how they put it out there for people, that is where a lot of people do get into trouble. Like, oh, I'm just trying to keep up with the new next hottest thing, and it's like, no, like it's just, worry about what you have, worry about your pocket and everything, if that makes sense. But I probably would say the bigger piece, if I had to pick between social media and education, I probably would say more so education. I probably would say 60-40, 65-35, where most people, they don't understand because they haven't been educated. They're not financially literate. And one of or I guess two of the biggest tools that I've been able to find so far have really been, shockingly, it's been a board game. And I'm actually mentioned this to the last time. It's the Cash Flow board game by Robert Kiyosaki. He's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad and Cash Flow Quadrant. And he invented that board game really to get people to understand about financial literacy, how money really works, how to understand cash flow, not necessarily just in business or in real estate or whatever the thing is, but just understanding or the difference between what an asset is and a liability, what an expense is, and where is income coming from, where are all the different sources of income coming from. And it's more than just one source. It's more than just being a W-2 or an employee. There's other sources, there's other ways to be able to generate revenue, if that makes sense. And then,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's education. It just comes down to education. I've been learning more and more. I mean, when I go down rabbit holes of reading like that for education, it's like I want to learn everything. And a lot of it we just weren't taught. As growing up in our families, maybe we just weren't taught exactly what we needed to know or understand about money. So I think that cash flow game is great. My husband and I are playing it again tonight because we're not eating. So when you don't eat food, here's the thing that I've learned that I really think is very much a similarity with the money piece,
right.
is that we eat because we're bored. My husband and I looked at each other last night. We're like, a lot of times we eat because we're bored, not because our body needs the nutrition,
Right.
because my body's fine. I'm on, day 48 hour of whatever of doing a water fast, and your body can go a very long time without eating. It needs water, but it can go a very long time without eating. So we eat a lot because we're bored. We do eat for energy, but we eat because we're bored. I find that we spend money because we're bored and we do things out of boredom.
Right.
That's a really crazy thing to me, that we feel that way, about money. But when you are paying attention to something like, how much money do I have coming in? How much money do I have going out? And how much money am I putting away for myself? And I bet you find, working with a lot of women and men, is they are paying themselves last if anything is left. They're not paying themselves first. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really crazy that you mentioned that. I really feel, and I've heard the saying so many times, like, how you do the little things is how you do everything. And you really hit it on the head, especially when it comes to eating. Yeah, people do that just out of boredom, which is why we have, the highest obesity rates. I haven't looked at the numbers, but that it makes sense. People are bored out of their minds, and this is just their, again, whether it's a coping mechanism or whether it's whatever, that's just how it is. And it's the same thing with money. Oh, well, I really shouldn't be spending this, but why not? I'm bored, or something like that. And I find that, like I said, for both men and women. So this is not just a gender specific thing, or whatever the new thing is, but it's really more so just just not understanding. I need to be paying myself first. Like, people are so quick to go pay off, Discover, American Express, or whoever, whatever. They're in a hurry to go do that. But when it comes to paying themselves back, or paying themselves first, that's just a no, when I get around to it. And unfortunately, by the time that they realize that, oh, maybe I should start paying myself first, usually by that time, it's usually either A, too late, or
Yeah.
what's the point, kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My husband and I have been through that too. I totally understand. And it takes the education of someone teaching you so that you really understand and then start going, oh, yeah, I'm not prepared. I'm not set up. I'm not. And retirement looks different for everybody. Retirement for my husband and I is not stopping working and just doing nothing. Like, that's not
Right.
how we want to retire. Retirement for us is really doing the things we love. So
Right.
we both have said that we feel like we're in retirement because we're doing the things we love, and we're buying more businesses together now and doing more together, which feels more aligned for me. And I think that's a money energy thing as well.
Right.
On how we draw more energy to ourselves. If it's constantly a battle and a challenge and something that you're always fighting against, right? And you feel
Right.
like money's a bad thing and you just focus on debt and all the horrible things, you vibrate at a very low level. And that's what we attract, all that crap,
Right.
right? But
Right.
like, Ashley, for you, you said you've had one of your best quarters lately. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is, and really, and it's, you really hit it on the head there again. It's really just, what it is, what it is it that I have been attracting. And so for me, I decided, especially since I've only been here in Arizona for a year and a half or so, and I decided, when I made the decision to go into business for myself back in March 1st of this year, was I'm going to make the most relationships possible. I'm going to make the most, not necessarily like friends, no, I have a mentor who says, I'm not looking for friends, I'm looking for a team. I'm looking for people who are going to tell it to me like it is, who are going to
Yes.
tell me what I don't necessarily want to hear, but I need to hear. I have to hear it in order for me to grow. And so that it's really been that, just self-educating, understanding how money works, not just in my business, but also in my personal life too, because those two things are separate. They're separate entities. And so I would really attribute it to that. And again, just having just good guidance. And I've invested thousands upon thousands of dollars in personal development, growth, and more so in my communication, not necessarily with how I communicate like with another person, but also this communication too, because
Yeah.
I take this person to my relationships, to my business. And if I'm not working on this right here, what good is it? So
So
yeah, the
important.
last month was it was like my highest month last month. And so that really topped off the quarter, and I'm on track for this upcoming quarter to do even better. And so it's just continuing to do that. So that's it.
Congratulations. And I'm glad that you attribute that to not only having a business coach, you attribute that to having a mentor, you attribute that to your mindset, your perception about what is possible and what you can do. And I think that's a huge piece when we're talking about, are you charging what you're worth? Are you charging what everything, it's really looking at, like, yeah, I do have a lot of experience in this area, or I do have these products that are really going to change the game for someone. And I mean, luckily, what you do when someone is investing, it's not like you're charging them specifically, right? When they're investing and doing
Right.
everything they do. But when you're paying a business coach, you're paying them and you're investing in yourself for
Right.
them to give you guidance and tools and coaching and all of those things. And I guess I would ask the question to everybody out there, what is missing in your life that you could use some guidance on? Is it financially? And if you're not happy with the way your money situation is today, the one thing I love about working with you, Ashley, is that you educate people. So you get them to a place, refer them to who they need to know, get them to a place where they can pay themselves first,
Right.
because a lot of them might be in a situation where they can't do that today.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're so good at that. And the cash flow game is so fun. So we're playing that for dinner tonight since we're not eating.
I
And
love
I know
it.
you also locally in Arizona, you want to talk about the cash flow board game and you getting women together to play
Yeah,
that?
Absolutely, and actually, as a matter of fact, this upcoming Saturday, so every second Saturday, I host only a ladies cash flow game only. So this Saturday, at my business partner's office out in Tempe, we will be hosting another ladies cash flow board game from 1 to 3. So local ladies in the area, or if you're going to be visiting Arizona, please come by, come through. We love to be
Fun.
able to have you and play the game. So yeah,
So
absolutely.
fun. And I want to mention that you can reach out to Ashley. It's right there in all the comments. The link is below. You can reach Ashley on LinkedIn at Ashley K. Butler. All you have to do is I just typed in Ashley space K space Butler, and then you came up
Literally
right away. Yep,
perfect.
that's all you have to do. So type in her name and you guys can find her there. And I just want to thank you, Ashley. Like, you went just all in and started meeting people. That's how we got connected. That's how I've had the pleasure of spotlighting you on our podcast. I would love for you to write a blog. I would, love for you to do so much more in our community to keep educating women around money. I think it's so important, and not everyone shows up as dominant as you do, and as kind and sweet. And I love that I'm seeing you everywhere, and that you really are starting to play in a lot of these other networks that I'm in as well, because that's where you're really going to meet all the people.
Yeah, sure.
So I think it's great. Well, to all of you out there, thanks for joining us. We hope you had a long, relaxing 4-day weekend last week. And now it's back to work. So back to earning money. Here we go. And we'll see you all soon again next week on our Member Monday Spotlight, where we'll bring another member forward of our community to spotlight them on all the goodness that they bring to each and every one of you. Ashley, it was a pleasure having you here today, hon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Colleen. Bye,
All
guys.
right. Bye-bye, everyone. See you next time.